2 in Miami. The 76ers respond with 2 straight in Philadelphia. Now we head to a pivotal Game 5 back in Miami. Game 5 of the Heat and 76ers. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
2-0, Bart Hahn. Giannis comes up short in the MVP race. We'll talk about how he responded against the Celtics in a huge Game 4. Plus, how much are the Grizzlies missing Ja Morant? We'll talk about it. Bart Hahn, noon Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN+.
The right time.
With Bomani Jones.
Every year got to be win now. And yeah, I know it all blew up with Harden. It was a little bit beyond their control. Nobody liked the sound of it. You got to fire the coach. I wouldn't want to coach that team. I got absolutely no idea who the guy is that is qualified to do this job, because one tricky thing about the NBA that I think gets lost, it takes a great coach to coach great players.
The right time with Bomani Jones.
You can listen or follow on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Bart and Hahn.
What leaders do is do what people won't do, and then that emboldens them to have to step their game up.
Himself through stuff that isn't in the best interest of himself, but in the best interest of the team. Like when Willis Reed came out, he didn't have a great game. He hit 2 shots and that was it. But it was about inspiring and opening things up for everybody else. Just a threat. This is stuff that legends are made of.
Bart and Hahn, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN+. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
I said yesterday, this was a legacy moment for Ja Morant coming up. And I'm telling you guys, last night, it was block office.
Oh, he was ridiculously block office.
He was block office.
You know what's right about that? Block office, Jay.
Block. I said block office.
Yeah, you said you box office, blockbuster.
You didn't even realize you said block office. I said it again, and you talking about, yeah, he was dealing and willing.
GJ and Max, mornings on ESPN Radio. Mike Greenberg.
The transfer portal that all the coaches are complaining about right now. Oh, this is every single coach, whoever kept a player from transferring who had very reasonable reasons to want to, and said, well, you can transfer, but I'm going to eliminate from your list of possible places to go this school and that school, and you can't transfer in the conference, and you can't go to someone we deem a rival, and we can't do this or that. Exercising a degree of control over a kid's life for no good reason except the fact that you can, you're to blame for this. Or at minimum, I'm delighted it's now happening. Delighted. Because when you do that to a young person, you have to recognize the jerk in it is you. Let these kids go play where they want to play if they want to. The idea that you put restrictions on it the way you did when you didn't have to was always completely unfair and unreasonable. And so now you deserve the wild, wild west that it has become.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN+. ESPN Radio Sports Beat. With Jason Fitz.
The most heavily bet Kentucky Derby in history was won by the biggest long shot in the field. And you better believe everybody's paying attention. I'm not just talking about horse racing fans. I'm not talking about just gambling fans. I'm talking about all sports fans and everybody that likes to place money on any of it. The globalization and the continuing change in the trend across the country of the ability to bet on games everywhere gives more people more opportunity. If you're like me and you were just starting to get into F1, fear not. You can pull up an app almost anywhere and find a way to bet on it and do it legally in a way that makes it simple for everybody to have a little bit of skin in the game. That's part of what makes watching some of these moments with gambling more fun for so many people. And it's part of what's changed in the narrative around the way we treat certain things. When you think about the treatment of marijuana 10 years ago, when you think about the way people talked about sports and betting 5 years ago, and you think about the world we're in today, the vast change is absolutely undeniable. If you're the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and you see the amount of money that's going out on things like the Kentucky Derby, you realize that people on your game days want to place money on it. So the question is, how do you do it in the way that you make the most of that cash? Even for players that are looking at it and saying, hey, our salary is based on revenue split. How much will the growth in gambling create more revenue for leagues that will create more opportunity? This is why I think leagues at the end of the day right now are absolutely tripping over themselves, not just to partner with people in an attempt to be able to gamble, but to figure out how to bring that in-house in ways where they can have it in their apps and they can make all the money. The future is just being started when it comes to gambling, and the way it will look in 10 years is going to be wild. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Jason Fitz.
Christine Lisi. Developing story, Grizzlies star point guard John Morant remains doubtful for Game 4 of their second-round NBA playoff series against the Warriors tonight. He did not take part in today's shoot-around, still to be determined whether he'll warm up before the game. If there is no Ja, that means big trouble for Memphis. In the opinion of First Take host Stephen A. Smith.
Memphis Grizzlies ain't number love for y'all. Y'all are future, okay? The series is over. I don't believe this series. I don't believe Memphis is winning this series. I didn't believe it to begin with, but let me be more emphatically clear. They ain't winning Game 4. And if they ain't winning Game 4, you ain't beating Golden State 3 straight.
Our Stephen A. Smith. Game 4, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio, as well as the ESPN app. Former Michigan State star Adrian Payne, the 15th overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft, was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida early this morning. He was 31 years old. A man has been arrested for that shooting. Tampa Bay's Victor Hedman, Nashville's Roman Josi, and Colorado's Cale Makar named as finalists for the Norris Trophy, given to the NHL's best defenseman.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
There's no rush in Justin Fields. Take your time, build it the right way, and now all of a sudden you get a young quarterback that you can groom and you can be there for a long time.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
You look around, there are quarterbacks that are under some real pressure going into next season. It's Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio, and on ESPN Plus. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. We welcome in on the CC Call-In line ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday, who joins us. You can follow him on Twitter at SaturdayJeff. Jeff, we appreciate the time. How you doing?
Fantastic. How you guys doing today?
We couldn't be doing better if we tried. I don't think so.
If we were, we'd be Jeff Saturday.
Exactly. Apparently so.
There you go.
Jeff, when Dan Orlovsky made the 5-person list this morning of quarterbacks that are under incredible pressure this coming season, when you look at your own personal list, so to speak, of quarterbacks who could be under pressure this season, who comes to mind for you right away?
Probably Jalen Hurts. And I would say, when I was on the show with Dan, he was talking about Rodgers, Dak Prescott, but they have pressure that's probably internal. I mean, they'll get criticized, but both those guys got monster contracts. For Jalen Hurts, man, you're talking about a team that's, the Eagles, they surrounded you with talent. They added A.J. Brown. Their offensive and defensive lines have gotten better. They drafted you one receiver last year. They have a great ground and pound run game. And really, you have to be the catalyst. And if you're not, they have enough firepower, in next year's draft to go get a QB if that's what they want. So I would say if it's from a pressure perspective, that's who I would say probably has the most pressure, just because, expectations and then how quick the turnaround would have to be. And listen, let me just make sure I'm clear. I think Jalen Hurts did a really good job last year. I thought the maturation process is right where it needs to be. I expect big things from him. But to me, he's the only one that was in Dan's quote list that could potentially lose your job. And the rest of the guys might get crushed in the media, kind of all those things. But all those guys are either financially okay or they ain't going anywhere. Tua might be in that same boat a little bit. But again, I think Jalen, with the expectations of this year, probably has a little more pressure.
And Jeff, I actually saw the back and forth between you and Dan about the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. I actually had the Eagles winning the NFC East coming into 2022. I know you're on the Dallas Cowboys train, but how much pressure is on Dak Prescott to actually deliver beyond just the division title and try to win a championship? Because there are all the pieces in place for him to compete at a high level, and there's no longer the excuse of working out the contract. They paid him $40 million a year. At some point, you have to be able to get some playoff wins in order to have the return on investment that Jerry and Steven are looking for down there. So how much pressure is on Dak to actually deliver? We know he's going to be the starter long term, but to actually get it done.
Yeah, I think that's as big as it gets from an internal perspective, right? Like, and I don't just mean from him himself, but from the organization. When you think about the expectations of what the Joneses want from him, when you think about McCarthy and kind of how they they just jacked it all up. I mean, towards the, from a coaching perspective, the best thing that could have happened, though, Chris, and you and I both know, is that Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn both stayed. Like when that at least gave them some semblance of kind of a foundation they can continue to build on. And when I think about that, the O-line, they were not physical at all. They can't seem to find a way to run the ball. They put up a ton of points. And again, you said this before, like in the NFC, I think they averaged like 30-plus points a game, 31 points a game in their division, as division opponents. So somebody's going to have to score with them. The issue is, to your point, playoffs and playoff wins. I mean, this is a 12-game, winner-type team that you're expecting to do something. Dan Quinn, to me, is the guy, especially when Randy Gregory kind of walked out of the building, the hat is on him. They're going to have to be a defensive, kind of a middle of the road or above middle of the road team, which they were last year, because the physicality of the Cowboys up front is gone. So they're going to become more of a finesse team offensively. They're going to depend a whole lot more on that, and they can play CeeDee Lamb, kind of that whole thought process. And you and I both know what made them so dangerous was that when they got leads, they could just hand the ball to Zeke and let that thing, they could control the time of possession. That's not the case anymore. So Dan Quinn, that defense is going to have a tall order. But again, I think they can they have explosive players. I think they can put up points. And I'm hoping that Kellen goes back to the drawing board on some creativity in the run game. They need to be much more creative in the thought process. And I know Williams didn't play well. Obviously, they didn't think Collins, so they let him go. But, with the Smith pickup and just from a mentality of going, they have to get back to that. We have to control the physical portion of the front because if they don't have that, it's tough sledding when you hit playoff time.
Jeff Saturday, ESPN NFL analyst, joining Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio. Jeff, in that whole discussion about quarterbacks and teams and pressure, where does Jameis Winston fit in there?
Well, that's a good question. I think he's playing a little bit with house money, in all honesty.
Really?
You think I do. Listen, he was playing well before the ACL. Now you have a new head coach who's going to come in, and I know Dennis Allen's been there forever as defensive coordinator, but he's starting it again. But this is a team that they expect, right? They have a receiver who's coming back, been injured forever, right? And so you can't guard Mike, the whole deal, right? He's coming back. Defensively, they added Matthew. They're going to have a certain attitude, and that's really how they've won games that they've won. And so they'll hang their hats on that. If he can protect the football, this is a good team in a conference where a lot of guys went to the AFC. So you feel pretty good if you're just a decent or above average team and you get high at the right time, you could make a run. So I think he's positioned to do extremely well. I don't think there's a ton of pressure on him to be Drew Brees. I think people will understand Sean Payton leaving. It's going to take some time. So I think it kind of takes the pressure off of people pointing the finger at him. They'll go, oh man, without Sean Payton, without those play calls, it's going to give him a little time. And so I think he's actually in a really good position.
Jeff Saturday, appreciate the time, man. I tell you what, it's going to be a fascinating situation in New Orleans, especially there. But thanks again for popping on.
Appreciate you, fellas. Y'all have a great one.
Yep, Jeff Saturday, ESPN NFL analyst. We'll talk more about it in a moment. But I'm really wondering, am I just lost on this thing? We'll get into it. Good chances are, yes, generally.
The Jameis Winston glow up is unbelievable.
Generally, the answer to that question is yes, and I'm comfortable with it. But this one, I just don't know about. Canty and Carlin, ESPN.
Tuesday, and Dan Orlovsky told us that Justin Fields plays well. He could be an MVP candidate. Dan Orlovsky. I'll tell you my top 5 MVPs. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Tuesday at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
I never ever thought I would open a business for myself, and then I had a baby.
Meet Patrice Mousseau, founder of Satya Organics, a skincare company created for people with skin issues, powered by Shopify.
When Esme was about 8 months old, she developed eczema. The doctor's only option to me was steroid creams. I just started experimenting in my kitchen crock pot. I actually found something that cleared her eczema up in 2 days. After about a year or so of just selling out of my kitchen window, I decided to make a business out of it. Shopify templates are fantastic, and their customer service is absolutely stellar. You can buy Satya online, you can buy it in stores, you can buy it in our social channels, and that's all made possible by Shopify.
When you're ready to share your business with the world, grow it on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform trusted by millions of businesses like Satya. Get a free 14-day trial at shopify.com/play and start selling wherever your customers are with easy-to-use tools and friendly 24/7 support. Go to shopify.com/play right now. Shopify.com/play.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. The Warriors return home and get a big Game 3 win against Memphis to retake the series lead. Game 4. Coverage begins tonight at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Presented by Indeed.
Are you still budgeting with spreadsheets? Or just looking for a better way to manage your finances? Meet Truebill, the #1 personal finance app that makes keeping track of your money effortless. Truebill brings all of your accounts together in one place, so you won't need to hop from app to app or fill out tedious spreadsheets to track your spending. The app breaks down all of your income and expenses into categories like groceries, rent, and entertainment, so you can easily see where your money is going, create a custom budget, and save towards your financial goals. Truebill can even help you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions with just a tap, so you can stop paying for services you don't use and put hundreds back in your pocket. You can also use Truebill to lower your monthly bills. Just upload a picture of your bill and Truebill will get to work finding you the best rate possible. To find out more about all the awesome personal finance features packed into Truebill, go to Truebill.com/sports or download the Truebill app today. Truebill, the money app that works for you.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Come on, one more rep. You got this. There it is. Nice work. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The Big Hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BODY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text BODY to 42424 right now. Text BODY to 42424. That's BODY to 42424.
This week on The Right Time, talking Vinny Goodwill to the NBA playoffs. And of course, as always, Foxworth Friday with Dominique Foxworth.
The Right Time with Bomani Jones.
You can listen or follow on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Mike Greenberg. Green.
They're going to fire Steve Nash, the Nets are, because there's nothing else to do. You can't do anything with KD. You can't do anything with Kyrie. You can't do anything with Ben Simmons. And those three are their actual problems. What they'll do is they will just reshuffle the deck chairs on the Titanic. They'll bring in someone else to coach them, and that other person will stand there helplessly on the sideline while that team winds up underachieving.
Green with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Carlin, ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, presented by Progressive Insurance. Don't forget Sirius XM Channel 80 as well. Tweet us. Hit us up at Chris Carlin, at Chris Canty 99 on Twitter, and of course on the CC call-in line 888-SAY-ESPN 888-729-3776. It has been hot today on the CC call-in line. A lot of discussion around Joel Embiid getting hosed for the MVP award, since Woj broke the story this morning that Jokic was going to win it for the second consecutive year. We spend a few more minutes here on football because at this point, it's starting to feel like we're contractually obligated to talk about Baker Mayfield, and here we are. How should the Browns proceed with Baker Mayfield, and they have no clue how to proceed. When you call something a fluid situation, as they have called it easily 8 times this offseason, what it means is you have no idea. You have no idea how to really resolve the whole situation. To me, this just should be as easy as pie. You're going to have to suck it up. And the sooner that you decide that you're going to suck it up and pay a good chunk of the salary, the sooner you're going to be able to get rid of them and not have to talk about it anymore. And it's just, there is no circumstance under which it's healthy to have Baker Mayfield as a backup quarterback. And please stop with the, well, you don't know how many games Deshaun Watson's going to get. No.
Well, yeah, Baker Mayfield is not going back into that locker room.
No.
We got to understand that, like, the people to put out that notion or that suggestion, it's not going to happen. Like, he already said his goodbyes through the article that he penned in the Cleveland Plain Dealer. The organization has already told him they don't want him. They traded for Deshaun Watson, guaranteed a $230 million contract for a guy that has 22 pending civil lawsuits against him, signed 2 other quarterbacks in free agency. They don't want him. He don't want them.
But what is it about them that won't let them understand you have painted yourself into this corner when it comes to this guy?
Because they're hoping that somebody's going to bail them out, whether it's Baker Mayfield agreeing to cut his salary that's guaranteed this year, or if there's a team that gets desperate enough at the eve of training camp or at the beginning of the regular season, and they decide they're going to fork over a significant draft pick in order to get Baker as their starter. I think that's what they're waiting for. Cleveland knew that this was going to be a messy situation, but they're going to keep Baker at arm's length. It's not like Baker's coming in that building for OTAs or off-season workouts. They're not going to make him come to the minicamp, and he's not going to have to come to training camp. They're not going to have him anywhere near the building. What they're hoping is that somebody gets impatient and decides that they want to bring in Baker Mayfield for some insurance or bring in Baker Mayfield to have a crack at a starting job.
Well, one thing that's become abundantly clear, whether they want to admit it or not, the story that we saw in Sports Illustrated last week, there are going to be more instances of Baker Mayfield either publicly or through sources taking shots at the organization to get his way out.
I don't know that, Carlin. And
he just saw it again last week.
But here's what I'll say. If he continues to do that, doesn't that give credence to all of the critics of Baker Mayfield and saying asking what kind of baggage this guy is bringing into your organization, what kind of temperament, what kind of attitude, what kind of teammate, what kind of leader? All of those things are questions right now. And if Baker Mayfield continues in a public fashion to be critical of the Cleveland Browns or throw tantrums in order to get his way, it's only going to make him look worse. He's fighting for his career mortality as a starting quarterback. Even though, if you just look at the body of work, there's absolutely a case to be made that he's a top 20 quarterback in our league.
Of course there is. And that's my thing is, if I'm Baker, I'm not taking a dime less. I'm not taking a lesser contract.
No, and I agree with you, but I think Cleveland's still going to wait to see if there's another team that gets desperate enough. I think that's what they're doing. Because here's the thing. It's a no-lose proposition for Cleveland right now. Because they're on the hook for the $19 million, right? That's what it is. So even if they cut Bateman, they got to pay him the $19 million. So whether we do it now, whether we do it later, what's the difference to them? It doesn't matter. They've got $24 million in cap space right now, so they can take care of their business for the rest of the offseason. So this is just a matter of seeing what we can get in return for a guy that we invested the number 1 overall pick in once upon a time.
Well, what the difference is that you can have more of this. I won't call it a distraction because he's not around.
He's not there.
But when you still have to answer the questions, and if he does poke his head out like it's Groundhog Day, let me talk to another reporter and feed some more stories, trying to force his way out, it is still another thing that the organization has to deal with. And I still think, even if you're a team, let's say that loses your starting quarterback, that suffers a horrible injury in OTAs or something like that.
Yeah.
Nobody's that desperate. Nobody's taking on the $19 million for Baker and giving you a decent draft pick for it. It's not happening.
Sam Darnold gets hurt in training camp.
They're not taking on $19 million. They're going to ride out Matt Corral. We'll play him. There'll be a
so Matt Rule's going to get fired.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Trust me, they're not going to take on $19 million with Baker to save Matt.
Jared Goff gets fired. Gets hurt.
The Lions are going to go give up $19 million. Where are the Lions going this year? Lions aren't going anywhere this year. I mean, they're a couple of years away, and it may not even be with Jared Goff.
Okay.
This is my point, is any place that he could potentially end up going is more beneficial to him than to whoever that team is. Because
no doubt,
any team that he's going to go to is not a team that has a chance to win this year. And it's more important for Baker to get somewhere else to show that he can still play. I'm not taking a penny less if I'm him. You committed that $19 million to me. That's not my fault. That's on you. If my career does fall apart, I am walking out the door without every freaking penny that I can.
But it wasn't a bad decision in real time for the Cleveland Browns to give him that fifth-year option. It wasn't, because he was just coming off of the playoff win, Carlin. And you were talking about a guy that seemed like he was ascending. The back half of that 2020 season, they're going into the playoff, where they beat up on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
You had to give him the fifth-year option. You just had to.
Yeah, listen.
You wanted to see more.
But the Browns have to own up to that here at some point. Dude, you're not going to get that.
But that point is not right now. You don't have to do it right now. It doesn't hurt you to keep him right now.
If there's another story that pops up about Baker complaining about the situation or his friends aching and moaning
it'll
about
hurt
it,
Baker Mayfield more than it will hurt the Cleveland Browns.
I don't know that it will, because somebody's still going to give Baker Mayfield a shot.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. Is the proverbial. The Warriors bounce back from a Game 2 loss in Memphis by winning Game 3 in San Francisco to retake the series lead. Game 4, the Warriors and Grizzlies. Coverage begins tonight at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
The right time.
With Bomani Jones.
Here's where Scotty got this wrong. No one gets underrated by proximity to greatness. The reason you didn't get those Defensive Player of the Year awards is because they go to big men. There's two kinds of basketball fans. The kind that thinks Scottie Pippen is overrated and the kind that thinks Scottie Pippen is underrated. And part of that, I think, is a lot of y'all kind of just feel bad for him.
The right time with Bomani Jones.
You can listen or follow on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson, now the heat's on them. The people in charge of getting them players, of putting pieces around the quarterback, and of getting the coach players, they did their job. So I am as enthusiastic and excited about it as you could be. But there is no room now for excuses. The quarterback has to prove that he was worth being picked where he was picked, and the coach has to prove that he knows what he's doing.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch exclusively on ESPN Plus. Jay Will and Max.
Matty Ice is something special. I think a lot of people forgot about Matt Ryan for whatever reasons. They felt like the Atlanta Falcons was a throwaway, and that was not really the case. The Atlanta Falcons did Matt Ryan good by allowing him to go to a place that he wanted to and taking less from the Indianapolis coach so he can go to Indy. They could have got a pretty good haul for Matt Ryan on the open market.
GJ and Max. Mornings on ESPN Radio.
They gave him some Antonio Brown type vibes. That's a huge blow. You just hurt your team. They carried you and they stepped up. You are extremely too important and vital for this. And now you get a flag or two, you got to go protest it, try to get to a flag or one, because we don't want you to get down the line and get suspended for a game like you've done before. So, like, he can be better than that.
Martin Hall, weekday at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN Plus.
Tuesdays are made for First Take with your boy, Stephen A. Who is ready to lose the debate as I take on all comers. We start at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
The playoffs on ESPN Radio.
This point is just all in for some of these opportunity playoffs. I know what to expect.
I want to see when they get punched in the mouth during the playoffs, how this team handles adversity together.
Very latest from the NBA. Every morning starting at 6 Eastern with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Today on ESPN Radio. This is ESPN Radio.
The head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Chris Finch.
We just finished playing the better part of 2 years of joyless basketball, but it felt really like a job.
Justin Reed, the new safety for the Kansas City Chiefs.
You know, it didn't really hit me until the next morning I woke up and it was like the closest feeling to what it was like the first kid drafted.
Tonight, Coach Luke Fickell.
We're going to continue to recruit the same type of kid, whether we're playing in the AAC or we're playing in the Big 12, but I do believe that it gives us a greater opportunity for a lot of those kids maybe we haven't been able to land.
Ken Griffey Jr.
And you needed to celebrate the guys that made a difference in history, not just on the field, but history.
Saints first team All-Pro 2017. Cam Jordan.
I just clumped them together. I just go 3-time All-Pro. Honestly, as long as it says 100 sack club guy, like that's really the kicker for me.
The biggest names in sports come here. It all starts with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max at 6 Eastern and continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section and after Dad's back injury. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Trouble with opioids can start at home with unused medicines such as pills, patches, and syrups. You can remove the risk and protect your family. Find out how at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Grizzlies star point guard John Morant did not take part in the shoot-around today. He remains doubtful to play tonight in Game 4 of the against the Warriors in that second-round NBA playoff series. It is yet to be determined whether Morant will warm up before the game. Memphis knows how much it relies on Ja, but was also able to win 20 of the 25 games he missed during the regular season. ESPN's JJ Redick.
Desmond Bane's production went way up in those games that Ja Morant missed. And to me, that's the guy that the Grizzlies have to get going. He was fantastic in round 1 against the Timberwolves, but has been very limited so far in this series. He's averaging 10 a game. He hasn't had any momentum getting shots.
Game 4, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Monty Williams has won NBA Coach of the Year after leading the Suns to a franchise record 64 regular season wins. NHL Avalanche star goaltender Pablo Francouz in Game 4 against the Predators tonight in place of the injured Darcy Kemper, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN TV. NFL Giants released quarter James Bradbury after failing to find a trade partner.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you have in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
If you haven't taken problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but Chris ain't one.
This is Canty and Carlin.
One thing that is getting a little bit out of control, can we please stop with the notion that I have heard quite a bit today? Ja Morant is the best player in this series.
Yeah, we got to chill out on that one.
Can we all just take a breath? Listen, I will be the first to irrationally react to one game. Ja Morant's been brilliant. He is a phenomenal player, and he is one of many faces of the league in the future. Not currently, in the future.
I will give you partial credit on your statement. Where I disagree with you is that Ja Morant is one of the faces of the league in the future. Now, I think that's down. Ja Morant has arrived.
Now, the ESPN studios in New York City. This is Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio and on ESPN Plus.
Fourth quarter here on Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial, auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. And big fella, tonight, it's Game 4, Bucks Celtics. Now, we know in Game 3 on Saturday, the Milwaukee Bucks won 103-101, and there was some drama late in that game with Marcus Smart attempting to get up a three-pointer. Drew Holiday decided to foul him beforehand. It was ruled a foul on the floor, so only 2 free throw attempts and not the 3 shots at the free throw line because of the three-pointer that he was attempting. Marcus Smart did a great job of intentionally missing the free throw at the end to give the Celtics a shot.
I'll tell you, I've never seen something better.
They still came up short. Yeah. But, I mean, the 2 biggest takeaways in that game, from my perspective, Giannis Antetokounmpo dropping 42 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, and Jason Tatum going 4-19 from the field on his way to 10 points in that game. He was 2-9 in the first half. He was 1 of 8 in the third quarter. So from Game 3, biggest takeaway, Giannis's performance or Tatum's performance?
Giannis, because of everything that the Celtics had done to contain him in the first 2 games of the series. And that's why he's the best player on the court, because he found his way out of it and he understood what he needed to do to get back on track. And it wasn't just about being back at home. And, you know, the whole thing, though, about it is, if you told me those 2 things were the case prior to the game, Giannis is going to go off and Tatum's going to shoot 4 of 19, I'm saying that the Bucks are winning that game by 20 points. Mm-hmm. The Celtics are still right there. Like, if I'm the Celtics, I actually should feel okay about that. I feel like I got a chance here tonight to go steal one there and even the series up. And that, to me, is an important factor when you are looking at all of that. Now, there will be plenty that the Celtics need to do differently. And look, they're 2 playing better than the 2 of Holiday and Giannis. I don't expect it to be the case, but I expect it to be a lot closer than it was the other day. Mm-hmm. And if the Celtics are still tough enough with everybody else defensively, they can win tonight. I'm riding with the Bucks. I've been on the Bucks. I expect them to win tonight.
Okay.
I'm not going to be stunned if the Celtics win tonight.
Well, the Celtics have been great coming off of losses, right? I mean, since the calendar year turned 2022, they're 10-3 off of losses. So the Celtics usually play well when their backs are up against the wall. And we saw that in TD Garden in Game 2 of this series.
Yeah.
We saw how dominant the Boston Celtics look, but we also acknowledge that the Milwaukee Bucks accomplished what they came to accomplish in Boston. They needed to take one of those first 2 games, and they did that, mission accomplished. Now, to me, it seems like Game 4 is the real pivot point in this series, because if you're talking about the Boston Celtics being able to steal home court back, then all of a sudden we're talking about a best-of-3 series, and I'm not quite sure who has the edge, who has the advantage. But we know that if the Bucks go up 3-1, this series is over.
Yes. If the Bucks go up 3, I don't expect this series to go 7.
So you're expecting the Bucks to win tonight?
I think they're going to eke one out.
Yeah.
And if they go up 3-1, the Celtics will win at home, but I expect it to be over in 6.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
So hold on, let me ask you this question then. If the Celtics win tonight, is this going to be a 7-game series?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Right. And look, I would expect as a 7-game series. I'm still not going to back off the Bucks, but that is a tall order. That is a tall order for the Bucks to win 2 more times, or to win 1 more time in Boston after they've already won once there. And they were fortunate to win the game that they did there.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden you're saying you're taking the Bucks, but not your chest. Then all of a sudden you're taking a lot less hair out of your chest.
Yes.
I got you.
Exactly.
I got you. I hear you. Here's what I will say. Jason Tatum in the first round was anointed as a superstar. We were having a conversation, has he ascended to a top 5 player in this league? Now, if I was having a draft, I would absolutely take him in the top 5.
I'd take him before Jokic.
He's 24 years old. Oh, there's no question about it. So, I mean, like, there's that part of the conversation. But if we're going to put you in that territory, then you got to show up in big spots like this. And everybody said that Kevin Durant had a claim or had a stake to being the best player in the world? No, he don't. The best player in the world resides in Milwaukee. And this is the series that Tatum has to step up and match that level of productivity and that level of intensity. And thus far throughout this series, I haven't seen it from Tatum. I haven't.
Not consistently.
No.
And that's what we talked about before, was that it's not, if you are putting yourself in that discussion, it's not just getting past Durant, it's also getting past Giannis and proving that you can do that. The one thing that would shock me is if he does not play well again in this series. I think no matter how many games are left in this series, if Jason Tatum doesn't play well, I'll be surprised.
But it's when he plays well, though, Carlin, because here's the thing. If he doesn't play well tonight and Milwaukee goes up 3-1, I don't give a damn if he goes to Boston and plays well in Game 5. The series is over. So he's got to play well now.
No,
he's got to play well in Game 4.
I'm saying
while it's still a series.
In all of the games remaining, I expect him to play well. That's all I'm saying.
In all of them.
I expect him to play well tonight. I expect him to play well any amount of games there are beyond it.
Yeah.
Because I do think he's entirely too good, and we have seen too many times what he's capable of. And I'm sorry.
He was so bad on Saturday, though, Carlin.
I know he was. But Chris,
so bad.
Are we looking at this saying what the Bucks are doing to do this to him? No, that's not how we're looking at it. We're looking at this more about why he is playing well. This is not a lockdown situation. So if that's the case, I don't expect a player like that to just fall off the cliff for an entire series.
No, I don't, but I would also expect a player that when he's not shooting well from the field to find other ways to contribute and impact his team winning. Because we saw that from Giannis.
That's a fair point.
We saw that from Giannis in Game 1. What did Giannis shoot? 9 of 25 from the field? And that might have been the best 9 of 25 from the field performance I'd ever seen from a player in the playoffs. That's how good Giannis was in terms of creating opportunities for other guys. I have not seen that from Tatum when he has off nights like he did on Saturday. And that's the part to me where we still have to see the evolution of his game. And Colin, if we're being honest, the overall maturity of his game too, because he still is 24 years old.
Remember when I was talking about this last week, the idea that Steph could be sucking in Ja into this me versus you, we're going to have fun kind of thing, and really playing with Ja's head, making it more to Ja about him in this series than his team.
Yeah.
I don't know that Tatum right now, and tonight or the rest of the series, if he doesn't play well in a game, will tell me just that. Is he capable of doing that yet? Like, has he adapted his mental approach to the game enough where Jason Tatum is going to focus on those other things that he does well to help his team win if he's having an off night offensively?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what I want to say.
That's fair, because he could get drawn into the
You're right, he hasn't done it so far.
I want to prove I'm better than Giannis as opposed to I want to make winning plays for my team.
Exactly.
Yeah, speaking of making winning plays, with Ja Morant's status in doubt for Game 4 of Grizz Warriors, do the Grizzlies even have a chance of being able to make this a series? Carlin and I'll have the answer for you next. You're listening to ESPN Radio.
The NBA playoffs on ESPN Radio from the play-in tournament. Until a champion is crowned in the finals, the NBA playoffs are on ESPN Radio. The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio. The Heat won games 1 and 2 in Miami. The Sixers respond to win 2 straight in Philly. Game 5 tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Presented by Indeed.
Hey, it's Greeny, and the NBA action continues to fly in. We got Monday night, 2 more Game 4s Tuesday. This will be the place for all the reaction. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic has been voted the NBA's most valuable player for a second consecutive season. Look, I thought Embiid should have gotten MVP this year. If you're not going to give it to Giannis, you give it to Embiid, right? The real issue for me Why do I think he was MVP? I think basically offensively, though they do things a little differently, it's very close between him and Jokic. And defensively, Embiid is better.
I'm okay with Jokic getting the award, but I can see how, from my basketball eye test, I would give it to Joel Embiid. For my analytics test, I would give it to Jokic, right? But I also don't think I easily gloss over the fact that this dude didn't have his second leading scorer and his third leading scorer on his team, and they still found themselves to be in the 6th seed for the playoffs and still got there.
Great.
Only one sale away from the Shopify 1000 Club.
Is that a thing?
Wow, Mom, have a cookie.
I'll take one.
Dad.
These are delicious. You need to show them.
You should.
Mom.
No, seriously. Let's set you up on Shopify. It's easy.
I always knew you would build your own business.
Guys.
Yum.
Okay, if Mom can do it, then why not?
Number 1000.
Start selling today with Shopify for free. Sell online, in person, and anywhere else your future holds. And manage it all from a single place. No design or coding experience necessary. It's why every minute of every day, something amazing happens. A new seller makes their first sale with Shopify. Plus, with on-demand business courses and 24/7 support, Shopify is with you every step of the way. So, when you're ready to bring your idea to life, build it on Shopify, the commerce platform powering millions of ideas around the world. This is possibility, powered by Shopify. Sign up for a free 14-day trial at shopify.com/play. Go to shopify.com/play right now and start selling today. Shopify.com/play.
We're back on Tuesday reacting to Game 4, the Grizzlies and Warriors. We'll tell you if the Grizz can win without Ja like it did all year long. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Tuesday at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, Showtime. How many streaming services are you paying for? Better question, how many do you actually watch? Odds are you're paying for subscriptions you're not even using. Why? Because getting out of subscriptions often feels like more trouble than it's worth. Well, not anymore. Just download the Truebill app. Truebill is the #1 subscription tracker, manager, and canceller all in one. Connect your accounts and instantly you'll see a complete picture of all your recurring subscriptions in one easy-to-use interface. Truebill organizes your subscriptions by due date and notifies you when something is coming up. Now, instead of waiting on hold for close to an hour while you connect to a customer service rep, cancel that subscription immediately with a tap right from the app, and Truebill will handle the rest. To find out more about all the awesome personal finance features packed into Truebill, go to truebill.com/sports or download Truebill from the Apple app or Google Play stores. Truebill, the money app that works for you.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh yeah, this is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BODY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text BODY to 42424 right now. Text BODY to 42424. That's BODY to 42424.
Rolling along here on a Monday on Kenny and Carlin on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. The NBA playoffs are on ESPN Radio. Tune in tonight as the Warriors host the Grizzlies. Presented by Indeed. Coverage begins at 9:30 Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. And Carlin, we were just about to talk about Ja Morant being doubtful for Game 4 of Grizzlies Warriors. But the Boston Celtics made a bombshell announcement, and that's going to be our Making Moves for today.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Celtics say that center Robert Williams will miss Game 4 against the Bucks due to left knee soreness. Now, we know Robert Williams has been one of the guys in the rotation on the coverages for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he's known to be one of the better shot blockers remaining in the playoffs. So how big of a loss is this for the Celtics, and what has to happen tonight in order for them to make up what they're going to be missing in Robert Williams?
I was about to say, is he out due to left Giannis soreness? In other words, he's still sore from getting his butt kicked the other day. I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal trying to deal with Giannis. I mean, Chris, we talked about it. They were so good in those first 2 games against Giannis. Yeah. They did such a tremendous job against him. And then in Game 3, it just wasn't there because he is who he is. I mean, that's going to happen. This hurts. So what do you do with him now defensively? How much are you going to get Tatum more involved there?
It has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be. I mean, you know it.
And how much is that going to take away from him on the other end, though?
I don't care. But you know you gotta try to hold that monster and Giannis down. It's gonna have to be Tatum. We know Al Horford will get his opportunities as well as Grant Williams, but Jason Tatum is gonna have to play a role in this, just like he did in the first round series against the Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant. Now I get it. Giannis is physically more imposing than Durant, but Tatum is gonna have to find a way. And this is what the best players are asked to do in the biggest moments. And so you're going to be down Robert Williams. You've got to step up. And this is the moment that the Celtics need him to the most, not only on the offensive end, because we know he's got to be better than only scoring 10 points like he did in Game 3, but he's going to have to be good on the defensive end too.
Wow. This is going to be an exceptionally tough situation for them.
Yeah.
That hurts immensely.
It hurts immensely. Now, does it potentially sway your locks or your picks for tonight? Because I know you always give that away in our 3 and Out. I'm just saying, with that, knowing what the line is right now, maybe there's a chance that we could have that involved at the end of the show. I'm just saying.
Let's take a little
just going to put that out there. But Carlin, we do also have to talk about Ja Morant. But before we do that, let's go out to Bond in Tampa. Bond is on the CC call-in line. What up, Bond?
What's up, CC? What's up, Chris Cannon and Chris Carlin, the CC?
That's right. You got to specify, right? We got 2 CCs on the show. What you got for us?
Hey, man, I got one question for you, Mr. Cannon. My wife got your jersey, by the way, Cowboy jersey. You've been Cowboy fan. But my question is, could Tatum just have had a bad game?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think that's probably more likely than not.
I was thinking he had a bad game. And I mean, we dialed it up and we looked into it a lot. I just think the kid had a bad game.
No, I absolutely believe that was the case because I don't think it was anything that Milwaukee did to him. But as much as 10 minutes ago, I'm sitting here saying I expect him to play well the rest of the way, like now we are taking some of that offensive energy, not that he wasn't a very good defender to begin with, but there's a lot more defensive responsibility on him now tonight.
Yeah, there's no question about it.
I do wonder how much of an effect that's going to have on the offensive side for Tatum when he has to deal with Giannis that much more.
The most critical game in the series right now for the Boston Celtics. Tonight is a must-win game. They don't win tonight, series is over.
Let's hit Bruce in Seattle next. Bruce, you're on ESPN Radio, Canty and Carlin. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, Joe? Hey, man. Hey, Chris. I've got two questions. Okay. So, one, if Giants out tonight, yes, I do think the Grizzlies still got a chance. People forget that the Grizzlies is a grit grind team first. And actually, they play. Sometimes I've seen them play better without Ja. Not saying that they're better without him, but I have seen them play harder.
Well, the record would indicate that. What's the record without Ja? Is like 21-2 or something?
No. So the record without Ja Morant is 20-5. And Ja Morant is 36-21. The Grizzlies average 114.7 points with Ja in the lineup. With him out of the lineup, 117.8. So 3 points better. The opposing team scoring 112 points with Ja in the lineup, 104 points with them out of the lineup.
This is one of the cases where
the numbers will lie to you because
Absolutely.
the Memphis Grizzlies are a better team
Straight
with John
to your
Morant
damn
on the
face.
court. Exactly.
they will lie straight to your damn face.
But no, this series is over, man. Stop it. It's over if John Morant can't play in tonight's game. They go down 3-1. I don't care what happens from that standpoint. It ain't going to happen for the Memphis Grizzlies. Not in this series. You go down 3-1 and you got to rattle off 3 straight. Good luck with that.
Yeah. That's a problem.
No, it's a huge problem.
That's a problem.
And I don't think they can win in the Chase Center either. So, and then there's the question of, okay, even if Morant does come back in this series, Carlin, what version of John Morant are you going to get? Because he's a player that relies on his explosion and his athleticism in order to be the catalyst for what the Memphis Grizzlies do offensively. If he can't be John Morant, then what does this team look like?
Bang it. It's over. See ya. Good night. Adios.
It's a wrap. But here's the thing. John Morant was healthy for the majority of Game 3, and what did that look like?
Yeah. Look, they went.
I don't think they shot the lights out of the gym. Carlin, they shot 63% from the field.
Even after they won Game 2, neither one of us thought they were winning the series.
No.
So now it just removes all doubt. It saves us time.
Carlin, they made 2 of every 3 shots they took in Game 3.
Is that good? I mean, I never played the game professionally, but is that good?
It's pretty damn good.
I gotta play the
Patrick in Atlanta, we see you on the CC Calling Line. We're going to get to you on the other side. But coming up next, who is the most important Grizzlies player when John isn't in the lineup?
Is there one?
There is one. And we're going to tell you exactly who that is. I'm Carlin and Candy, ESPN Radio.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
There's no rush in Justin Fields. Take your time, build it the right way, and now all of a sudden you get a young quarterback that you can groom and he can be there for a long time.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio.
Harden now engages to the 3-point line. Pull up 3-pointer is good.
Just took what the defense gave. Same shots, just made amazing.
The Heat won games 1 and 2 in Miami. The 76ers respond with 2 straight in Philadelphia. Now we head to a pivotal Game 5 back in Miami. Game 5 with the Heat and 76ers. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
Tuesday on Bart Hahn. Giannis comes up short in the MVP race. We'll talk about how he responded against the Celtics in a huge Game 4. Plus, how much are the Grizzlies missing John Morant? We'll talk about it. Bart Hahn, noon Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus.
You can't miss a moment.
But I've always said, if you can either give me a shutdown corner or a pass rusher, I'll take the corner. A good coach can figure out a way to get pressure on the quarterback. There are like 10 people in the world who could just take your best receiver basically out of a game. If you can have one of those guys, there's nothing more valuable to have on a defense than that. I'm not sure that isn't the second most valuable thing to have on a team after a quarterback.
Green with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch exclusively on ESPN Plus.
I'm Pablo Torre, host of the podcast ESPN Daily. Every weekday morning, I will bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today on ESPN Daily, James Harden has been resurrected, and the conference semifinals are full of hard fouls and bad blood. So Brian Windhorst catches you up on everything you need to know. Just listen and follow on your favorite podcast app.
This is Bart and Hahn.
He injured a player. I understand he didn't need that, but look at today's NBA, Bart. If you just try to slap down, it's an M1. Guys are too strong now. You've got to hit him hard to make sure he doesn't get the layup. But what he did was awkward. To me, it was not an intent. I don't think he was trying to do something malicious. I think he just didn't know how to foul.
Bart and Hahn. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN Plus. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't mind having young wide receivers in the middle of the round, but for whatever reason, I think a lot of people on the outside go crazy because they see other teams take receivers in the first round and don't have the success Aaron Rodgers has with middle of the round receivers that go on, quite frankly, to get paid by other teams because of the success that they've had with the quarterback.
Keith, J, and Max. Mornings on ESPN Radio
and on the ESPN app. The right time.
With Bomani Jones.
Every year got to be win now. And yeah, I know it all blew up at Harden. It was a little bit beyond their control. Nobody liked the sound of it. You got to fire the coach. I wouldn't want to coach that team. I got absolutely no idea who the guy is that is qualified to do this job. Because one tricky thing about the NBA that I think gets lost, it takes a great coach to coach great players.
The right time with Bomani Jones.
You can listen or follow on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
The other New York Giant, Kayvon Thibodeau. Can I tell you that when I was watching Phil, I felt like I was watching a steakhouse commercial. Like my mouth was watering.
Good morning again, Gary Bettman.
When you bring the cup into a room of people, it's unbelievable. It has a presence like nothing you've ever seen.
Sauce Gardner, the outstanding corner, joins us now.
Man, it's like I was on a roller coaster and my heart dropped. That just made me so happy.
Two-time national champion head coach Jay Wright.
Started creeping in the beginning of the season. I didn't have it in my head, so I started thinking about, all right, how do you end it?
JB Bickerstaff, head coach of the Cleveland Cavs. Ron could be coming back, JB.
I don't know. This is the only coach who ever did anything with the Cavs without LeBron James. I appreciate you guys. Yes, I do what he did with LeBron. No, who said that? Stop that, Jesse.
The biggest names in sports come here. It all starts with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max at 6 Eastern and continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
Twins have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through, like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car is ready for a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep it looking like new. Including Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $5.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $5 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm active duty, so I'm figuring out my options while I'm stationed here.
Hey, Kevin. Navy Federal Credit Union is celebrating Military Appreciation Month, so you called the right place.
Guess you could say it's like a match made for Kevin. Get it?
Very good.
At Navy Federal, our mission has been to help the military community for over 85 years. During Military Appreciation Month, we're celebrating the commitment that connects us. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
The playoffs. ESPN Radio.
This coach is on the course and it's opportunity playoffs. I know it takes
I want to see when they get punched in the mouth during the playoffs. How this team handles adversity together.
It's off for NCAA White 17.
Game screening in the NBA action fly in. We got Monday night, 2 more game 4s Tuesday. This will be the place for all the reaction and screening. Starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus.
He's very, very so happy.
I'll take a couple of those hot dogs. Can you go get me a popcorn, maybe a pretzel? I got my Diet Coke, and I'll watch the game. And then guess what happens? You just stop there. I'm staring. I got mustard on my jersey. My helmet's up hanging off sideways. It's a disaster. I was pulling the other game. It was early on in the second period. And Uncle Rick thought, hey, it's a good idea. Maybe just release some tension here. And little did I realize that there was a little bit of tension coming up.
GJ and Max, followed by Grady. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Tuesdays are made for first take with your boy Stephen A. So Stephen was ready to lose the debate as I take on all comers. We start at 10 a.m. Eastern with ESPN
ESPN Radio Extra Point with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic has been voted the NBA's most valuable player for a second consecutive season. No, I thought Embiid should have gotten MVP this year. If you're not going to give it to Giannis, you give it to Embiid, right? The real issue for me, why do I think he was MVP?
The team was the more ESPN 117. Right here, the start and the Dodgers. Right here on Prime Video. Stay tuned. See you tomorrow live